Welcome back and thanks for joining. We just got done wrapping up Identity Insights, and on this video we are going to wrap up the Exobot Insights page inside of the platform with the Analyst Hub. So diving into the Analyst Hub, what it does for you. So essentially a place where anywhere inside of the platform you can assign specific things to yourself. So if there's maybe a risk that you saw inside of there, and maybe your overall task is to reduce the risk footprint inside of your AWS environment or kind of whatever, you can go select all risk findings related to AWS, assign them to you. And then those are things that you can start chipping away at and come inside of here and see what is left and what is assigned to you. You could assign things like threat findings, access reviews. Matter of fact, under the type inside of here, you'll get an idea for all the different things that you might want to assign to you inside of here. Now, I don't want to confuse this with case management because we do have case management as well. And that's going to be more of like, hey, we had an incident. There's going to be several people working on this, lots of collaborators. We're uploading other evidence and things of that nature. And we do have that under our response settings, and we'll be diving into that. This is more going to be like, hey, for an aspect like threat findings, for example, a really common practice that I see within SOCs is we're going to address all criticals and highs. Anything that's a P0, P1, we want to make sure that we address all of those. With a lot of the things that the Exobots are doing with automatically triaging these alerts, you're going to see that a lot of things that might be a higher priority are going to be leveled down just because of all the business context that we have and the behavioral baselines. So now all of a sudden you might start seeing more mediums and things like that. So now you're going to be able to see, scenarios where it's like, okay, we're going to address all P1s and P0s, absolutely do that. But now we actually have more bandwidth where maybe we can start looking at some of these mediums. And these are going to be scenarios where it's like, yeah, not necessarily an incident, but it is something that needs investigated. You can go assign it to yourself and be able to come inside of here in your Analyst Hub and see what's assigned to you. So essentially the way it works is that if I was to even go into something like our detections, threat findings inside of here, we can go pick, maybe I particularly own the AWS environment, something along these lines, and I only want to look at medium alerts from inside of there. I could really kind of go to anything. I could select all of these if I wanted to, but kind of like to stay along the narrative of like, hey, maybe we're going to go address things that are like medium priority in that ballpark. I could go open up something like one of these threat findings inside of here. And as I'm taking a look at this, I could be like, okay, you know what? I want to go ahead and sign this to myself. We'll assign it to Keith Buswell, hit apply. Oh, sorry, I made a little misclick there. Sign it to Keith Buswell. We could see that. I'm going to get an email right now that says, hey, this has been assigned to me. And then essentially what you'll see is under your Analyst Hub, that will now be in your queue for things to go work on. So that's kind of essentially the way that it works and what it looks like inside of the platform. You have several different ways that you can come in here, maybe filter in your workloads, essentially by the type, the severity, priority data sources, so different ways that you can kind of chop this up and leverage this. And then additionally as well, if I wanted to go look at unassigned things, this is going to be a combination of all the things inside of the environment. We can see some of these are threat findings, some of these are risk findings inside of here, aggregate threat findings. So if you wanted to just kind of go look at like at a big picture of everything that's inside of the environment, you can come in here and do that. So just some different ways that you can interact with this page. So that will wrap up our Exobot Insights inside of here. And so stay tuned for the next video where we start diving into risks. Thank you.